Hello everyone, my name is Steed, and welcome to Steed Plays, a channel where I narrate scary stories. This story is called Dead Mall Security. Let's begin. Cliff got up to leave. Orientation was done.
Good luck tonight, Isaac. See you tomorrow.
Cliff walked out of the office, closing the transparent glass door behind him. I turned from my seat to look out the front of the office and saw a small stream of workers heading to the exit. Most of the workers didn't even look my way. Some did as they rounded the corner, but not out of intention. The only person who did was the barista. She looked over, waved, smiled a little, and I waved back. I finished my coffee. I was sad it was gone. I will definitely be getting more later, I thought. I threw my coffee cup in the trash and checked my watch. Looks like it's time to do my rounds. I walked out the front of the office and headed towards the front door of the mall. I peered out the glass doors to make sure my car was still there, and yep, still there. It was dark already now. The sky was pitch black, and I noticed something a little off. It wasn't foggy or anything, but I couldn't see anything past the illumination of the parking lot lights. Normally in an area like this there would be some lights on, but there was nothing but shadows. I strained my eyes as best as I could to see what was out there, but all I could see was just shapes where the buildings should have been, like a group of giants all sat down next to each other. The mall was dim. At a certain time after closing, the lights turned off to the bare minimum. It was a cost-saving method, but it left some large areas of darkness. The mall was relatively quiet, aside from some constant noise from the AC and fluorescent lights. As I walked the mall doing checks, I looked to my left and saw my reflection. I stopped and said, "Looking good," aloud. I turned forward and took another step and froze. My reflection's mouth didn't move. I turned quickly to where I saw it. Nothing was there. I pulled out my flashlight and scanned the area. There was no glass to show my reflection. I was looking at a small indoor playground. It was tucked into an area that would normally be a store. I kept scanning with an ever-growing feeling of dread. I decided to call into HQ. HQ, this is Isaac.
Isaac, this is HQ.
The voice that came over the radio sounded like the automated voice from when I called the newspaper ad. The radio broke the silence.
What did you see, Isaac?
HQ, I thought I saw... I paused a little. I thought I saw another security guard.
That happens sometimes, when it's late. You must be tired. You probably imagined it.
Yeah, sure, probably, I replied. It wasn't all that late, I thought, and I wasn't that tired. I'd been tired before in the military and never saw something that well-defined.
Stay vigilant, Isaac.
The radio chirped. With that, I returned the radio to my hip and investigated the dark playground a little more. It was a forest playground with a large plastic rubber-looking tree in the middle. It faced outward with a large smile. Its tongue was a slide. Everything had a thick layer of dust. I moved to the side to get around the small entrance of the half wall that divided it from the main walkway. And as I did, I noticed the eyes of the statue were following me. The more I stared at the tree, the more unsettled I felt. I walked past the tree and looked around the back of the play area. There were some tables, chairs, padded floors, and even some padded walls. But what stood out the most was the ball pit. It was set into the floor, and it was very large, maybe 10 feet long, 5 feet wide. I stepped up to the edge and looked in. I was lost in thought, thinking, maybe what I saw hidden here. As I was thinking, I heard the distinct sound of someone going down the slide. I jumped and turned around, flashing my light across the playground. And in that split second, I saw a small, smiling face peeking from the other side of the tree. By this point, I was ready to leave and never come back. Disappear, even. I pulled my nightstick and swapped my flashlight to my other hand. Alright, who the fuck is it there? I tried to sound confident, but I failed. Nothing answered me. Enough games. I know someone's there. I walked cautiously to the other side of the tree and looked around. There was no way it could have gotten by me or hid. There was nowhere to go but towards me. I started to really believe the night was getting to me after all. Until I looked at the slide. Something had unsettled the dust. I left the area and quickly did my rounds, practically running back to the safety of the office. The glow of the neon sign was the only source of light in that cross hallway to the main entrance. I got to the desk and enjoyed the nice light from the room and waited out the rest of my shift. Once it was 3 a.m., I headed straight home, still feeling like something was following me, watching me. I got some restless sleep, tossing and turning until I finally fell asleep, only to wake up in what felt like an instant to my alarm. I didn't want to go back. I sat up in my small apartment and looked towards the kitchen pantry. I had half a case of ramen and 2 cans of Spam. I sighed and got ready for work. I drove back to the mall, a little under an hour early for shift. When I parked, I immediately got a call. I recognized it as the number from the ad. This must be Ronnie, I thought, or maybe someone else from the company. I answered the phone. This is Isaac.
Ah, Isaac, this is Ronnie. How was your first day?
Not too bad. I survived.
Good. Will you be returning again today for work?
He said it in an exaggerated way. Yeah, I just parked out in front of the mall.
Excellent, Isaac. I knew you'd be a good fit for the job. I also had finance pull some strings and pay you for yesterday.
Oh, thank you. I guess I'll treat myself tonight.
A man's gotta eat, Isaac.
I checked my account on my phone. I was paid. I didn't recall doing any time card. Maybe they did it for me? I got out of my car and headed inside the mall. There was an ATM ran by my bank, so I pulled out a little cash for coffee and made my way to my new favorite coffee shop. I was a little excited to try a new coffee number and make small talk with the cute barista. Her and her coffee were basically the only reason to keep this job, aside from needing money to live. Or rather, it made the night shift seem worth it. But when I walked up to the I Have Coffee, I was met with the worst thing I could have possibly seen. A little folded sign. Closed, it said. I thought to myself, I'm gonna fucking quit this job. As I stood there contemplating life, I heard a semi-familiar voice from behind me.
Ah, sorry, I'm back. We don't have a be back soon sign.
Relief washed over me. My day and employment were saved. It's all good. I'm just glad you're back. I smiled a little as I said it.
Me too.
She smiled back at me. There was a bit of an awkward pause before she said,
What can I get started for you?
I stared at the menu. Your coffee number 2?
Oh yeah? Who's better?
I chuckled as she disappeared behind the storefront again. This time I heard cans being opened. Not just one, but several. Some sounded like it was opened by hand, some by an opener, and some even by a machine. I was curious, so I started to lean to the side to see if I could see what was going on back there. As soon as I did, she jumped out from the back and said,
Hey, no peeking.
She looked mad even. I stepped back with my hands raised in defeat. I didn't want to risk upsetting her. It could mean no more coffee, or maybe not as good of coffee. A few minutes later, another cup appeared on the counter along with the barista. She looked at me expectantly. I grabbed it and took a sip. Again, it was amazing. I felt like I was in a hot spring, in the mountain on a snowy day. Everything was just right, a perfect, robust balance.
$5.72, sir.
She said, smiling even bigger than before. I guess how I felt must have been written on my face. This time I paid with a little bit extra cash and left an even bigger tip than before.
Oh, big spender today, huh?
I just got paid, I said with a wink. I made my way to the security office, and again as I made the turn to the sub-hallway, I looked back. Her smile was gone again, and she had that same I wish I could help look on her face. I suddenly felt dread as I walked the empty mall. I thought about last night. Did I really just imagine it? What I saw? No, it had to be something. I know I saw someone, or something. I decided I would press Cliff for more answers. I walked into the office and again he was pulling that dick book gag again. Just like before, he hid it in his desk like a dirty magazine. "Hey Cliff," I said.
Isaac, my man, welcome back. How was your first night?
Kinda rough. I was more tired than I thought.
HQ told me you saw something on shift.
Yeah, I saw me. Cliff's face got serious.
You saw what?
Me, but not me. Its mouth didn't move.
Wait. What? Why would its mouth move?
Well, I thought it was my reflection, and I said, "Looking good," and I realized my reflection's mouth didn't move. Cliff started laughing.
You really said that out loud to yourself?
Yeah. But it wasn't me. The mouth didn't move. It couldn't have been my reflection.
Where did this happen?
In front of the kids' playground. Cliff's face got serious again.
Isaac, we don't have a kid's playground.
To be continued. Alright everybody, that was part 2 of Dead Mall Security. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time for part 3, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.